Alright everyone, welcome to Dojo. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm Joseph and I'll be your tutor for this time. Okay, let's go through something very interesting, which is simply the MSnR key levels. What is MSnR? It is simply malicious support and resistance. It is not the conventional type of support and resistance that we might have been used to, areas of psychological rejection and continuation, areas where price is congested. This is also ultimately going to result to that, but then it is MSnR, meaning it has a different view to it. How you identify this, it makes it much simpler to identify such psychological level, because anything like support and resistance in the first place, it means it's a psychological level. So MSnR simply shows that it simply shows you a better way to identify these levels. So quickly, let's dive right into it. But before that, if you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe, because over the series, over the next few days, you'll be seeing very educative content on MSnR. So if you really want to master this strategy, you can just do well to turn on your notifications for this channel. Alright, so for the MSnR key levels, I already said it. MSnR simply means malicious support and resistance. So we have key levels that watch out for when trading MSnR or when using MSnR to determine our bias. Alright, so and the first of those key level is the support, right? Is the support, or which is also called the V-shape key level, or that's called it the V-shape, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so this is it right here. They call it V-shape key level, V-shape. All right. So we have it here. We have the V-shape key level, which is typically the support, So it looks like something. It looks like this, something like this. Oh, I'm going to show you why it's been called the V-shape later on, but for now let's just get this in the bag. So this is the V-shape key level, and in your candlestick formation you see something like this. So this black candle right here that you can see is showing the bearish candle, and this is the bullish candle. So basically what the MSnR does, it picks the closing prices of these candles, right, to show the levels, the closing prices of these candles. So that's why when you come to the normal candle, you don't see something like this, but you see something like this. So how do you know without having to go to the line chart? Because it's when you go to the line chart you see something like this. That's why it's being called the V shape or the support. So on your candle you simply see something like this, a bearish candle, then a push to the upside. So the closing price of the bearish candle and the opening price of the bullish candle. So what's really being taken note of is the closing price of the bearish candle actually for the V shape, which is the support. So we have something like this. This is the MSnR support. This is the MSnR support, right? Then vice versa for the resistance, which I'm sure by now you must have guessed is known as the A-shaped key level. So let's write that down. So you see it, the A-shaped key level, the A-shaped key level. The A-shaped key level, and it is the resistance. Also works the same way. The closing price of the bullish candle, right, is marked as the A-shape. Okay, so that's the support and resistance. That's the first and the second key levels that you have to take note of when using your MSnR strategy. So this is the V shape, this is the A shape, right? And then we also have what we call the OCL, which is typically open and close level. Open and close level, it simply shows the opening and closing price of two candles of the same direction. For example, we have a bullish candle here. Unlike this, that's starting with a bullish candle, it's it's reversed with a bearish candle. That's why we have the A shape. But for the OCL, the two candles are in the same direction. So the bullish candle, right? The next candle opens, manipulated down, then distributed upwards. So in between, we have something that is known as the opening and close level, which is also referred to as the gap. It's also referred to as the gap. Let's just add that. It's also referred to as the gap. So this is the bullish OCL, and this is the bullish OCL right here, and this is the bearish OCL. So let's take note of this. What price does whenever price comes to a valid key level, we're expecting two things: either price rejects that level, that means price should hold the level, remember I told us that a good key level or a good support and resistance is simply a psychological level, a level that price has visited more than once, more than twice, and it has proven to be able to hold price, right? So we're expecting price to retest, to reject the level. That is, there should be a bounce off of that level, or we're expecting price to break through the level and make that level a new psychological level to move to the intended direction. That's the direction it is coming from. So these are the most basic kind of key levels in our MSnR strategy that we have. So another thing we have to take note of is the variations of our support and resistance, which are simply, so let's just type something here, not to waste our time. So we can have the RBS, we have the RBS, we have the SBR, we have the QML. So these are very important ones as well. So the RBS simply means what? Resistance becomes support. The SBR simply means what? Support becomes resistance. And the QML is known as the Quasimodo. So what does it mean for resistance to become support? What does it mean for resistance to become support? It simply means the psychological level that was initially a resistance, something like this. Let's just show it. The psychological level, okay, let's say this is a resistance, right? Price is coming from below. Let's say that's the resistance, and price is coming from below, and we have something like this, 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 right? So an RBS means a resistance that was initially psychological level, right, fails to hold price, fails to reject the price. Instead, price breaks through it. Now, price breaks through it, it doesn't automatically means the level disappears. What it's simply saying is the level that was initially the resistance becomes now the support. It still holds price, but now in the continuing direction. So that is simply what the RBS means. Okay, and then the SBR is similarly the vice versa kind of movement, which is going to be something like this. Let's say this is a support. All right, so we see price falling, and we have something like this. Hope you're familiar with structures. We have the higher high, higher lows, and so on and so forth. So instead of price to reject price movements for it to hold, it failed to hold, then price breakthrough, it breaks through, and then what, it becomes from a support that it's become a resistance now. So that is simply the RBS and the SBR. Then the QML is simply a support that became a resistance, then it got broken again, so now it becomes a quick QML. So what do we mean by that? Is simply something like this. Let's just draw that out. We have something like this. We have something like this, or 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 something like this. So this level is the QML, right? So let's say price, let's say price broke down here, and then it failed to hold this time around, and then it also goes up, so it comes back down. What happened here? This was initially support, so it broke it to become a resistance, but the resistance also failed to broke it again. So we have what's the QML right now. So that's that about the key levels. In my next video, we'll proceed to talk about what validates a key level and what invalidates the key level, and then we can go to the chart and look for live examples. So this is what we have today. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to go over this. God bless.